Welcome everybody to the Overthinking Football Show live. I do this every Monday to Friday, 12:30 in the afternoon, and then also Monday to Wednesday at 8 p.m. in the evening. Today was a bit tough because I did the Banyana match, so the afternoon was a bit difficult. And also, I just want to apologize to my Facebook guys. Facebook suspended me for 24 hours for some reason during the live. So I'm busy trying to get that back on. We'll be able to do everything, I'm sure, by tomorrow. Everything should be fine. In the meantime, you guys are going to see this delayed. You're not going to be able to comment live from that side. If you want to join the panel, be sure to be following me over here. Please support me by following the channel. Ronnie, thank you so much for the gifts. And then also just support my content on here and on Facebook. I'm almost monetized on Facebook. So please help me out there. There's a live monetization that I want to get that's going to help me keep this thing running. So I think it's safe to say that today is Banyana Day. Today is Banyana Day. It's Banyana night. So while we were very happy and we celebrated and you know, we had a great time in the afternoon, I think now is the time for us to sit down and really talk about this thing of Banyana. So, and how the match actually went tactically and all of that stuff. So we can break down exactly what was done, what could be done better, looking into the last 16, how we got out. So we'll see as we talk about this and we go along. I'm going to start it off just by laying the table. So Banyana obviously came into this game needing a win, right? It was Italy. Italy's ranked, what, 16th in the world? And then, 16th in the world. And then Banyana is ranked 54th, right? A couple of things needed to happen today. One of the things was that, One of the things was that Sweden would need to beat Argentina in the other match, because if Argentina drew, they'd be through. And then we also needed to win our match versus the Italy. For those who hadn't been following this World Cup for whatever reason, what had happened was, in the first match versus Sweden, we took the lead and then lost, right? We took the lead, conceded 2 goals. When we played against Argentina, we took the lead, scored twice, and then conceded 2 goals with Argentina rescuing a draw. So this time we needed to win this thing. What are you guys saying? Hilda. Yes, Hilda Predwin. I don't know if you guys, just sidebar. Did you guys see her press conference after the match? She literally said, they asked her, how do you feel about this? You score so many important goals. You're becoming a very important figure in Banyana, blah, blah, blah. And she goes, my nickname is the breadwinner. If there's no breadwinner, there's no bread. So I needed to provide bread to the nation. Direct quote. Hilda Makaya. What can I say? So we're going to speak about that. I feel like at the beginning of this match, if you watched the live stream, thank you for joining me. But at the beginning of the match, we were very cautious. I think overly cautious. I think we came into that match thinking to ourselves that somehow we're going to steal the match. And we were starting to look a lot like a typical African country. I always say this. When African countries go to World Cups, they tend to struggle because, like, when they placed against European competition, it's almost like we shrink. We don't want to play our game. We don't feel free. We don't feel all of that, right? And I feel like part of that was playing into that, but also we had just lost Refilejane, who couldn't come back to play this game, right? So we needed to be a little bit more cautious because there aren't people to control the midfield. Upiana, of course, got 2 yellow cards and couldn't play this game through suspension. So it was really up to Linda Mutalo and Umudli in order for them to be in the center holding it down. Before we get there, let me start with what the starting lineups look like in goal. As we've seen, was Ukaelen Swart. We had Nukumatou, Bambanani Mbani, Bongega Kamete, Karabo Zamini, Lebohang Ramalepe, Robin Mudale, Linda Mutalo, Tembe Khatlana, Jermaine Siopasinwe, and also Hilda Makaya. That was the starting lineup we went in with. So remember, Refilejane is gone. So Mudele is going to be coming into a midfield with Linda Mutalo, who isn't a 6. She's not a holding player. She's a 10 in the Scottish Premier League. But because she's one of the more experienced quality players in our squad. She was moved into more of a 6 and had to hold that middle. So I think it was more of a case of them going, hey, let's control the game. Let's try mitigate as much damage as we can by pretty much defending. And then in the back, we had cried in previous games about not having experience going into the later portions of the game, right? Where now I need to be able to defend, and I need the experience of somebody who will marshal the defense, somebody who's been there, who's done that. And some of us were calling for Unukumatlo to come in those key moments, right? This time she started. So this was Coach Desiree hearing some of our cries and saying that, okay, we'll get some experience onto the pitch, because I can't stress this enough. World Cups, tournaments like this are moments. They're played in moments, right? So you have different moments that you have. I've just taken the lead. How do I consolidate? I've just conceded. How do I make sure that I can go out and score more goals, right? I'm going into the final match. How do I make sure that my emotions and my the pressure doesn't get to me going into the final match where I need a win? So you needed older heads like Abonoko, and I'm glad that Desiree listened to us. What was apparent was that we were not going to play the normal Banyana football that we've seen and we've loved over this tournament. We were going to be very reserved, right? And it almost came to bite us with Italy scoring I think it was in the 10th minute, getting a penalty through maybe some haphazard defending, getting a penalty and going 1-0 up. Luckily, they shot us some bail later on to give us a goal. They scored an own goal on their own. Before we took the lead, we started to see Banyana come out of their shell, right? Because again, it's momentary. You've come in to defend, you had a plan. Maybe the plan was we try keep it 0-0 going into halftime, and then in the following half we'll come out swinging and see what we can do. But now they've punched you in the face, you have to change. And we saw Banyana finally coming out and starting to go forward and play some really good football, resulting in the goal that made it 2-1 through a composed finish. Such a composed finish by the breadwinner. The breadwinner just utsibapali, guys. Utsibapali, breadwinner. So Hilda Machaya scored that goal, took us 2-1. But again, our lack of game management, but also something that has been haunting us all tournament long is corners, set pieces. Kaylin Swart, as everybody has said, is not confident within that box. She doesn't command the box as she should. So a lot of the teams have figured out, after watching, I believe, the Sweden game, they were like, you know what, crowd the keeper. We are generally taller than the South African players, right? And we know that this keeper doesn't move much, doesn't know how to go out, she doesn't have the confidence to come out and get these balls. So they would crowd the keeper, and they know that a few chances will come from that. And as a result, a lot of the corners that we conceded were really stressful, very stressful corner situations, right? I feel as though in order to try mitigate that without changing keepers, there's a rumor, there's two main rumors about Andile Dlamini. That one is that SAFA has suspended her as part of a punishment for starting the strikes before they went to Australia. But then the other one is that she's recovering from a heart problem, which is fine. But you'd imagine that there's a reason why there's 3 goalkeepers there. And maybe, let me just get her name so I can do her justice. Maybe, I'm trying to find her name now. I just want to make sure that I'm saying it right. Maybe Umoletsane. Yes, Umoletsane could have come in. But I feel like they had a chat about this and they went, you know what, Kaylin, when we have corners, don't leave the line. So what we saw versus Italy was a goalkeeper who was staying on the line, static on the line, and going, I'm not going out for these balls. I'm not going to go out for these balls. I'm not going to put myself in a situation where I'm found out. And that created a few situations where the ball was going directly through our defense, like in between the defense and the goalkeeper a few times. And that's actually how Italy's second goal came about, right? The ball was played in, headed, then it deflected in from an Italian player that was just in between the line between the goalkeeper and the defense. And they took advantage of that. So going into the quarterfinals and things like that, it should be something that we look at, because it's going to be, it's I don't know, I can't find the word. It's not good. It's not good to have a button that any team can press. So when Sweden saw that, hey, we can't outplay these people on the floor, they go into corner mode, they go into set piece mode. When Argentina saw that, hey, we can't outplay these people on the floor, they go into corner mode, set piece mode. And this is what Italy did to get back into the game. And I'm sure other teams who are watching this will know that, you know what, guys, Banyana is not strong when you talk about set pieces and corners. So if we find ourselves with our backs against the wall, 1-0 down, 2-0 down, chasing the game, we know that there's a switch, man, that we can use, a cheat code we can use to get past this Banyana team. So I feel like it's something that needs to be addressed. Will Coach Desiree change? I don't think so. I think she's going to stick with Kaylin, and we're going to see Kaylin in the last 16. To her credit, though, I also want to give flowers. To her credit, though, there are plenty of saves that Kaylin made, particularly towards the end of that second half, right? There was one where it was one-on-one. Our two defenders had gone out, a ball was played back, striker was alone, and she made a save, right? Have to give her credit for that. She did very well in that situation. But we still need to speak about her in terms of her being the main goalkeeper. Then, of course, end of the game, breadwinner scored and turned provider, giving Khatlana a cross after a wonderful interplay to set her free, giving Khatlana a low cross for her to finish. And then Utembi had her goal, Hilda had her goal, 92nd minute. It was down to another 9 minutes of waiting because there was 11 minutes of extra time. We'll speak about that too. This ref was not make sure. So we've qualified. We were happy. Obviously, those who watched the live in the afternoon, in the morning, we were incredibly happy. We're incredibly proud of this team. But there are some interesting things that came out of the press conferences after. So outside of Hilda letting us know that she's the breadwinner of the nation, you know, it's the second time now where I've gotten the most views and the most watches down to Hilda, right? So she is the breadwinner, at least for this show. Something interesting that Desiree Ellis said afterwards was she gives credit to her team because he tends to, and I'm paraphrasing, he tends to get lost in the match. And you see, I think that clarifies some of the questions we've had with Coach Desiree, where we've said, but Coach Desiree, don't you see, Manore, there needs to be a change. Don't you see, Manore, we need to do something, right? She came out and said that she gets into the match, she feels as though she's on the pitch playing, and it's really up to her team, the analysts who are watching, her assistant coaches, to bring her new information. So that's what I believe we need to speak on tonight, and I'd like to really focus on top of the other analytical things. But is it right for Coach Desiree to coach like that? You know, but in any case, let me open up the channels. Please, you have to be following me in order to jump onto my panel to speak to me live, and we'll take it from there. I just wanted to set the foundation. For now, let me read what's being said. To be honest, our goalkeeper is the weak link. Big match temperate players. Yeah, very fearful against the world. I think the coach must change a little bit at the back. That live stream earlier almost called me palpitations. Mara rules. Our defense isn't bad. We just don't know how to defend corners. If Nuku played against Argentina, we could have won. We played well in the second half, and the absence of Jane was felt. We couldn't nick the passes. It was a tough match. Team spirit won the match. Also, big up to the goalkeeper and the other players. Match that was very tough. Well, why are we using her though? Somebody make me understand. Simnigi game yonke. What if she was told by the technical staff not to come out? But I give credit to Bambananimbane. She did a clean job. 113 minutes, clean marking. Yes, star player in that game. Shout out to Banyana. That was a great game, top performers. Do you think it was tactics that Swart kept kicking the ball long? I felt we kept losing position every time she did that. And I think that's why part of my analysis during that thing was that when it comes down to the stretch, I don't know how many times I was left screaming, corner, go to the corner, go to the corner, go to the corner, don't rush the play, don't rush the clearance, go to the corner, was because when a team is hunting you and you keep kicking the ball and giving it back to them and having them come back at you, it may seem good in the moment to say I'm kicking out the ball and, we're doing this very hard defending, but you're allowing pressure to come back onto you continually. And that's where a lot of teams break, if that makes sense. And you saw when we started towards the end of that match, we were playing pretty much the same type of formation. We sort of had 3 people up front, same as Italy. They pushed 3 people up front. We had 3 people up front, Khoza and Jermaine and Predwina, right? We had those 3 up front, and then we try counter. And that bought us time. Tembi was winning a lot of corners very late and doing stuff like that. But you need to trust those players to play the ball out, because if you start kicking the ball, our defense tends to go into 6s and 7s a lot and lose their positioning at times. So if you allow all of that pressure to carry on coming back on you, you will be hurt at some point. So very interesting that you noticed that. Let me see who is here. I'm gonna let me see who is here. Starting lineup is here. I know the starting lineup is here. Let's see. And then let's switch it up at the bottom. Okay. Here we go. Maronza.
Chief, my chief.
Listen, we were happy during the afternoon. Nere chiva, nere jumper, screamer, celebrator. Now I want us to speak about the game itself. So I'm going to start you off with, what did you feel about the beginning of the game? Because Italy was on top of us for a very long time, and it seems like that was the tactic from us.
I think even the Argentina game is still the same, right? The first 10 minutes, I think they become nervous. I don't know why, right? And they allow the team. I don't know, maybe they're studying or what, but I think it will catch up with us one day,
Okay.
With good teams. Good teams, sometimes they get goals within that space, and then you lose it. Right? That is how I feel about it. But another thing that I've noticed is that on the transitional play, where we're supposed to hit more, you find Khatlana alone, she's alone most of the time, trying to press. And if a good team you are pressing, you have to press from the front, so that the rest the defenders must rest defend at the back. So I think Khatlana most of the time she's overworked, and then hence most of the time she's been substituted because she runs alone at the front. That is my problem that I'm having. We don't on the transitional play, we don't press as quick as we're supposed to, right? And another thing, there's a too much gap between the strikers or the defenders and the midfielders. I think maybe it's because Jane is not there. That is another problem that I see. There's a too much gap. If we can find another team which is good enough to use speed, we're going to get ahead. But I feel like the European teams, most they use tactics rather than to use speed. That is the difference, and that is where we had them most, because the speed that we use, I think sometimes they cannot match it. They cannot match the speed that we're using when we're going forward and all that. That is the only problem. But if we can find another team like the Brazilians, which sometimes they use speed also, we're going to get ahead. But I feel Khatlana is overworked. She needs somebody who's going to press with, if you can see the first goal, it was because of pressing.
Yeah.
You understand? You have to press.
Yeah.
So if we have 2 or 3 people who are pressing, how many goals are we going to get? You understand me? That is the missing point that they don't have. Pressing, they have to press from the front, so that the defenders must rest. Yeah.
Okay.
The second thing, it is the set pieces. The set pieces. This guy is saying, Ubuntu Khoza, I was saying the Brazilians, if we find Brazil, I'm not saying they are inside. The defending of the set pieces, right?
Okay.
It is challenging, because most of the goals, it is from the set pieces.
What can they do differently? What can they do differently? We know Kalen Swartz is probably not going to go to bench.
Yeah.
How would you set them up for these set pieces? What do you see?
The only way, right, is as much as I'm telling you, press them as front as we can.
Okay.
You'll never have a problem at the back. You understand me? You'll have less corners, because you're pressing from the front, so the defenders are resting. So if you always want to kick the ball up front, and then the ball must come back, you're always under pressure. You understand me? And it makes you to make those corners unnecessary corners and all those things, and then making those free kicks there just to take one for the team. So if they can start to say, let us press from the front, right, and then we don't have that too much gap between the midfielders and the strikers, all the departments. There must be somebody who's linking everybody. You understand me? Yeah.
But then I wanted to ask you specifically. Now we've got a corner, and we're seeing these teams pretty much bring 4 players, and make them stand right on the line, right by Kalen Swartz. What could they be doing differently there?
You know what, Nick? Another thing, use the old way of marking, man. You cannot somewhere somehow you cannot use the book when you're marking. You understand me? And another thing, it's shoving and pushing there. You understand me? Sometimes you need to compete. If they're not competing, one is competing, and then one, because I see most of them, they're short, so they need to compete. You understand me? And another thing that I've noticed is that there's a 10 yards line there within that corner. There's nobody who's been put there just to Pazamisanyana. You understand me? There's certain things that you need to do just on that line, that 10 yards corner and all those things. That much. Go and stand there, just jump up and all that, just to disturb the players. But they're not contesting at the back. That is my problem. And if we find like the likes of Germans who play the European football all the time, it's going to be difficult for us, to be honest. That is my thing.
Let me bring in. Okay, just finish off there.
Okay. Today, right? I think I criticized her. Towards all the 2 games. But today, to be honest, the goalkeeper, to be honest, she
will come back. Let's come back. Let's come back. I want to make it a real talk there. Malume Kuto, welcome to the show, my brother. Network is taking. It's fine. I'm going to jump to Khoza, then I'll come back to Malume Kuto. Khoza, welcome to the show, my brother.
Thanks, man. How are you?
No, I'm good. I'm great. And I'm great. I'm great, man. I'm feeling like I survived a group of death.
It was a group of death.
Let's talk about this game. The beginning of the game, it seemed as though we were coming out to defend. We were coming out to really, we're allowing Italy to come to us. What do you think of that first, let's say 15, 20 minutes?
If you don't have a plan, that can kill you. Staying back in the early minutes, against an opponent that wants to finish you, that can really kill you. And we saw the foul that was made. We saw that with the penalty that we conceded. But then. It wasn't the usual Banyana I know, I hear Ronnie talking about we did the same thing against Argentina. But then in my opinion, I feel like we came out more, in those early minutes against Argentina. This was a shocker to me, conceding first. Maybe it's the fact that we conceded first rather than us scoring the first goals, But then in the first half, you could see that they wanted to play, but then something was not gelling. Something was not coming together until the on goal.
Yeah.
I feel like they were hoping on demoralizing the Italians. After that, I mean, it's there. After that, we saw they started coming alive. They started pressing. What's her name? What's not Geraldine, but what's Rasio Pano or
Jermaine.
Jermaine, yeah. Yeah. You saw after that now she started pushing forward, she started coming to the game as well. But then I think for us to survive such games, we must score first.
But
because
surely,
clearly that's a motivator for us.
It feels like it was a tactic. It feels like and I want us to really question this. Coming into a match where you need a win, is it smart to go out and try frustrate guys, especially when you've seen how your team plays?
I don't like if it depends on how strong or weak your opponent is.
Okay.
But then to frustration, I've seen it to using that tactic of frustrating people. I've seen it work before. But then maybe because this game was too personal for me, but then I felt like we should have from the get-go, we were supposed to be attacking, we're supposed to be pressing. They are the ones who are supposed to be playing back and feeling the pressure.
Okay, no, I hear you. Logish, welcome to the show, my brother. How are you doing?
Thanks so much, my brother. How are you?
I'm so happy. You don't understand.
Thanks.
I'm so happy. I almost lost my voice today.
Oh,
How are you
I'm
doing?
equally happy as well. Greetings to the guys in the panel. Greetings to people that are watching. I think
Yeah, so I want to start you off with that first. The first question I want to ask you is, in that first half, man, it seemed as though the idea was to come out, absorb, frustrate, do whatever. What do you think of that idea? Was it a good idea? What do you believe around that?
I think in the first 10 minutes, I think the game was very highly tactical for both sides, and there was there were nerves. You can't take away nothing from that. There were actually nerves. They were very nervous, and they could have really done better. Because of we know them as a team that is very aggressive in their pressing and everything. But for them to come and sit back, it kind of there was just that one tiny detail that they missed in terms of their defense, and then it led to that penalty. But apart from that, I think they are much more improved compared to the last two games in terms of how they defend. But the only thing that I'm still really complaining about is the positioning of defenders and the cohesion in the manner in which they play. Because of when they play, you need to be able to know who's covering for who. When someone goes up, who's left behind to cover that space, and all of those nitty-gritties. I think those are the basic things that that makes us not to be at the level that we want. And I think we are performing at a very high level. I won't be surprised if we get to the last four or even final. Those minor things, like to be just able to position yourself, to be able to see the details. And I was very happy with the leadership of Nuku Matlou coming and marshalling the defense. So now it shows that we needed to create a spine and have someone who's more experienced as well in the midfield, so that you can have someone leading the defense and someone leading the midfield, so that you can have that sort of cohesion going forward. So I think those are the tiny details that we have, because of even when defending set pieces, even corners and everything, us as fans we panic as well. Even players panic. You know why? Because of they don't have that communication to say, okay, we pick up this one. How do we mark? How do we close our first and last pole? And how do we frustrate them from not being able to get chances to get clear headers and all of those kind of things? Those are the things that is really our weakness, and especially going to face giants like Netherlands and everything like that. We really need to make sure that we dwell much on practicing how to.
I'm gonna come back to that. I'm gonna come back to that because I want us to have a proper chat about it. Let me bring in RFTT. RFTT, welcome to the show. How are you doing? You can just unmute and then yeah.
I'm doing good, my brother. And you?
No, I'm doing better. I'm doing best, man. I'm doing best. This team is doing us proud. So tell me,
Man.
I'm gonna ask you firstly.
Yes.
That beginning of the game, I want us to focus there. That beginning of the game, we looked nervy, we looked tense. Is it something that was laid out in the tactics or is it just nerves?
My man, I think it was nerves, man. Nerves. It was nerves. We had no tactics there. I think one thing I've noticed about the girls, they have some way to adapt into a game. So that's what happened today. They found a way somewhere, somehow there. But to be honest, today, no, there were no tactics. And that midfield of ours is not good, man. That white girl who that was substituted half time.
Oh,
She
Mudele, Robin.
Yes, she's our weakness. She's our weakness at the first half. So the first 10 minutes was so nervous, man. My heart was jumping like the last guy said, like first time we need to first counter, it's ours. So yes, so man.
Okay.
But I'm relieved. I'm fine. I'm relieved now. Like my heart was super jumping, man.
Yeah. I know we'll come to it. Let me just jump in quickly. For me, I feel like that beginning, that like I said in the beginning, that 10 minutes was odd for me because again, if you're coming out and you're gonna do that, it has to be something that you've done before or you're good at doing, right? And that's why I think it was a question between when we're defending, do we understand our roles and what we need to do when we're defending deep and we're playing a slower game? Are we going to allow that the players to do that, or are we doing it because we were scared? And I always keep saying, you can play like a typical African team, and typical African teams go there and now this person who has the dribbler, shy paitu and all that stuff, all of a sudden is scared, doesn't want to move forward, doesn't want to push forward, doesn't want to do this, doesn't want to do that. They want to sit back, they want to hang back, they want to play it safe. And then they end up losing these games. And what shocked me was that especially now, you need the win. You need the 3 points. Why are we coming out being timid and defending? That was my question. Ronnie, I want to talk about some of the changes. We mentioned Robin coming in. We mentioned Unoku coming in. Do you think that the impact of those two players actually made sense? Did it add anything to the team?
Yeah, I mean, especially Nuku, I think she was superb the day for the day. She tried to to manage everything. I think it was the first 2 games they were disorganized. I think today they were disorganized, but better than the last 2 games. But I think Nuku today brought something different to the team, and I think the understanding between the defenders now is is coming to the understanding is too good now to understand, because I think that the history of the players, if you look at the Banyana, Nuku was always there. You understand me? So I think the understanding it is there now, hasn't been because of the previous history and all that. So Nuku brought something different. The other one, yes, but not that much. But Nuku, I think she was superb at the end of the day, to be honest. I don't want to lie about it. Yeah.
Should we maybe have seen Khoza coming in?
Definitely. You know what? I feel the argument or the fights that went through before they went there, right? It has disorganized everything. Remember, a game you start, you don't play it in the field of play first. You have to from the hotel go into the game and all that. So if they can come back and say, okay, let's relax, and then try to change their mentality, because if you check, when we went there the first game, it was because of what happened in SA. That's like, so when they get there, already they were disorganized. So the game doesn't start where in the field of play when they start the whistle blown. the game started in the hotel, went in the hotel, eating and all those things, talking and all those things. So you're preparing the players and all that. So I think psychologically now they're starting to forget about what happened in SA, and then they're starting to raise their hands to say we are here to play and all that. Because I think that this organize everybody in the team. You understand me? Including the management themselves. So they were disorganized. Now I think with the win of today, right? With the qualification to qualify, it will make them forget about what happened, in SA, about the strike, about money, bonuses, and all those things. I'm sure they're forget about it because why? They have qualified. That is was we say in their minds to say let's prove them wrong. So they did do that. Now they forget about. I'm sure the next game we'll see a better Banyana. You understand? Because of psychologically, they are fit. Psychologically, they'll concentrate more. So
Okay.
I think, I think that the broadening of those players, man, it was it changed everything actually.
Okay, no, I hear you. How's the same questions? Look, we went into this match without Captain Fantastic Refilio Jane, who was out injured. We didn't have Piana because she got 2 yellow cards and got suspended. So Robin coming in and Noku coming in. Do you think that it improved or helped us a lot, or did it have an impact? What type of impact did it have?
It did have an impact, especially as Ronnie said, Nokomatlo, The midfield, I felt like we played way too wide, We are used to utilizing all sectors of the midfield, But then this time we played wide. I think it's for the inexperience of Mudle. But then we saw what Noko did, That's the leadership you need, the leadership form. You don't have to always be on the ball, but then the confidence you carry, it runs over to the other players. But then Yena, she did terrific. Like, it was wonderful what she was doing, It's unfortunate that the second goal came off from her and then to the end. That was, I remember there was a moment where she was the Italian was trying to turn her. But you could see that the experience, she could not be turned easily. She kept on pressing on the player, So, but then I feel like, with Nokomutu, this is the time where she should lead, with experience, because I feel like the corner, especially, they must start commanding as players. When they start surrounding your goalkeeper, you must also shove with, that experience you bring into a play, because you saw that whenever they went around Swart, they would just be timid. They would freeze until the ball comes in. But then you start destabilizing them before the ball comes in. If they know that the ball is going to go to the far post, start pushing, start making sure that even if the ball comes in, there's a foul, but foul in your favor, because you're more likely to get a foul when you are active in the 18 area, But then overall, the changes were necessary. And we saw how they impacted us, and it was a good thing that Desiree had our cry to bring in Nokamotlo.
Okay, no, I hear you. Logish, the 2 changes that we made to the squad, do you think that they had a big impact on this game?
I think those changes were very important, particularly the change of Nuku coming in, because of it did stabilize the defense, and there was direction. And I also like that Mbane was also acting as a leader. I saw him shouting Stuart very hard there at the back. And I think that's what the defense needed, that type of leadership where you are told, don't go too much, come back and all of that. I think the missing link was the position that Modali played, because of the instructions were very simple to her. Just link the defense and the midfield, and then Mutlalo will link the attack and everything. So then you'd find them being confused, and then Mutlalo is now playing deep, and then Modali is going forward but still not giving us anything. And in terms of like the aggression and marking, we were not really getting anything from her. But maybe it was supposed to be just a coaching thing to say, okay, first half talk, your job is to just make sure that you link the defense and attack, and whenever you don't have the ball, you also show that you're aggressive and retain balls. Because of that, there were so many dead ball situations in the midfield that we could have easily be winning simple balls, but it was difficult because there was no communication between Mutalo and Modali as to who's going, who's leaving behind. This is actually what sort of like destroyed our chances in terms of just creating easy chances and being in control of the ball, because we hardly could contain the ball for like maybe 5 minutes, even maybe 5 to 10 touches. It was difficult, and there were so many balls that we lost so easily. So I think that needs to be fixed going to the next game. And I feel as if Tsesane is very important. He's a missing link in our attack. And I think that's how I saw it.
Let's hope Captain Fantastic will come back. RFTT, the two changes we made, what type of impact do you think they had?
Man, they had a great impact, man. I had a great impact. Like before Noko, we didn't have those passes through the defensive line. So when Noko came in, we had those passes, and our 4 players had more touches on the ball.
Yeah.
In the first half, the defense was too wide, man. There was too much spaces. That's why they were pressing us so hard. And there's no pressing there in that squad, man. So Nuke was so fantastic today, man.
Okay.
Yes.
No, I hear you.
And sometimes, sometimes I wonder who selects the squad there at Bafana, because we need Nuku. We need Nuku to start the game. We need those passes. Yes, man. We need that balance. We are gonna play Netherlands. We need that balance in the midfield, man. Otherwise, we're going to suffer much. Yes.
I think for me, the two changes were Nuku. We spoke about Nuku before, and we said that maybe Nuku should come in and be the one that marshals the defense. If Nuku's already there, if Janine was there, not necessarily to start, but what we're seeing from a lot of the other teams is the older heads are coming in later on in games because they've got experience of it. So it was good to see Nuku come in, marshal the defense. There were still times where we were caught out, especially when the pressure was on. But overall, I think it was a very good play. Mutley didn't do much. And I think it's because her next to Mutlalo is players. It seems as though it's 2 players of the same kind. They're the same type of player, right? We know Linda is the 10, right, for example, and I think Mutley would be more of an 8, but she was brought in so that at least we have somebody in the midfield, because our 2 number 1 options, Jane, Banyana, are not available, and it's a bit unfair to throw her in. I think we saw Salgado come in for a little bit in the first match. Now to be thrown in when the fire's on and you haven't played the previous games, it's a bit tough, but we'll see what happens there. Ronnie, I want to talk then about the major thing that everybody wants to talk about here. Kaylin Swartz as goalkeeper. I want to pair it up. I want to do 2 things. Your thoughts on Kaylin Swartz and her performance in this particular game and in the tournament, and then also set pieces. Let's dive into that. What are your thoughts?
Hey man, I feel on today's game, honestly speaking, she tried, I think she saved us twice. So I think credit to her. We cannot always point fingers, but I feel today she has done very, 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 very well, to be honest. But on the other hand, I feel like you know what, there's something missing about her, man, as a goalkeeper.
Okay.
Yeah, man, there's something, like, to be honest, I think as a goalkeeper, that is the last defender in a way. All right, you need to be vocal. You need to be vocal. You need to be active all the time. You need to correct whatever anything is wrong. You need to shout. She's missing so many aspects of her goalkeeper. Like, even if there's a mistake, she's quiet. There's like nothing has happened. You understand me? So I feel she's an ordinary goalkeeper. Like, for me, I'm not saying she's bad, but for today she did save us. But she's missing those things. Leadership in her. Remember, as a goalkeeper, you need to be leadership. You need to be a leader in the first aspect. You need to be vocal. You need to you know what to make the defenders know where they are, because you're the one who can see the game more than them. So you tell them what to do. You understand me? So you need to be vocal. So she's mixing those things. And another thing, I think on air hey man, there's something about her, man. There's something missing. But today, to be honest, let me give her credit. To be honest, I don't want to lie. She has done very well. But I think there was a game that I watched before the African Cup of Nation. We went to penalties. She's not good at penalties. That's another thing that she's not good in penalties. She's not good. I'm telling you, you'll see if we can go to a game whereby we'll go to penalties on the extra time, for example, they will bring Lamini in.
So then it seemed there was a tactic on corners, because today it's almost like they told her, don't come out.
Yeah, because you know why? She's too short in a way. You understand me? And if you shot, when you come out, you need to make sure that it's either you punch the ball or hold the ball. So as you can see, the marking of from the set pieces, the Italians, what they did, I think they watched all the games, the previous 2 games, to say, oh, okay, this is the weakest link. Let's go and mark her. We know if from the air she cannot take anything. You understand me? We are too tall, and then if I jump, which means her hands cannot reach the ball and all that, the only thing that will happen is either I touch the ball to the net. So I feel she's not good on the air. That's another thing that I said. She's not good at the air. She's not vocal. And another thing, even on the corner, you need to be vocal. You need to you know what, talk. Even my goalkeeper and all those things, you need to shout all those things. But if you do that, how much they don't know what to do, because the defenders, they rely on you who can see better. So there's so many things that she's missing. I'm not faltering here for all the games, but today she did very well. But she is missing those aspects of a good goalkeeper.
So seeing that she's not gonna get changed, I don't feel like she's gonna get changed. How then do they go about protecting her? Because we cannot just have the weakness of corners.
You know, if it was like an ordinary tournament, I'm telling you, they're going to let them to suffer. This is football. Remember, if you can check, most of the ladies, they are friends. They are from Sundowns. They are friends to the goalkeeper. Who's this Dlamini outside, right? They are friends. So what I'm saying, I'm not saying in football in general, things like that do happen. To say things like that, they do happen. But because this is not an ordinary tournament, right? They will protect her. They will. I think there was a moment that the centre back shouted
at her because she didn't come out for a ball.
Yes,
when she was shielding the striker.
Something like that. So you see now that thing now start to hit, to say, hey son, everybody will point fingers to say you the wrong one and all that. But they will try to protect her, but they will shout her more. So but what I'm saying is she needs to have a good goalkeeper aspect. Everything needs to be in her. But she doesn't have all those things, to be honest. She's an ordinary goalkeeper.
Okay. How's that? Let's talk about Swartz. She had we'd say she had a better game this time, but then how do you rate her as a keeper and how she played? And then also these set pieces, man, how can Banyana make sure that they can protect her, knowing that that's the weakness? How does Desiree work around that?
Ronnie just said it. She lacks leadership. In those instances, we have seen it with your other teams. When you watch them during corner kicks, even if they know that the area is strong, you'd say they are communicating, move. But then what I say is that they become like timid. And you are holding them, like immediately when there's a corner, they freeze, they don't know what to do. So the corners, they need to be alive during the corners. And I feel like you can tell on their faces that there's a goal coming. By the way they behave. So those are the things that that really don't make sense to me. And as well, you know, we saw what Italy did. You know, they studied the game, and from the first corner, what did they do? They pegged
crowded him.
Swart.
Yes.
And you can tell that these are the people who are waiting for an opportunity, and they knew a goal was going to come from them. So now,
But
what do you do as
Banyana? In as much as they studied and they know, shouldn't the analysts and coaches and all the people at Banyana also have studied or seen it that, guys, this is our weakness. Surely 2 games now, we should be fixing this thing or trying to something different.
You know, I don't know what the tactic is behind that, but then you can see that I feel like they themselves lose. They also get lost in the game when it comes to corners as well. You know, because a tactician would tell you, or an analyst would tell you that, guys, you need to do 1, 2, and 3 when it comes to corners. You know, but then they're already pinning themselves when they say, and maybe it's the way they believe it. You know, like we are already short, so we know that we're gonna lose this. What was Kamede? You saw when Banyana had a corner, the way she jumped and got the ball. You know, that was the first time I've seen a Banyana player win a header.
Yeah.
But then that's the mentality. We must first lose the mentality of we are a short team. It's fine, we are short, we know that, but then we can really challenge them. I mean, look at the goals that came in from the corner. We could have easily challenged them, you know. So that's the thing. And then secondly, Swart, guys, somebody's gonna hit Swart with a long shot. They already did. Argentina,
yeah.
They're gonna hit her with a long ball, and we know she can dive. The penalty, she was standing. You remember there was a moment where number 9, where Italy turned with the ball, and then she almost hit the corner of the goal.
Yeah.
That moment, she was also frozen in that moment. You know, so Swart is not a leader. She's an average goalkeeper, as Ronnie said. But there's nothing special about her, you know. She showed up when she needed to, and we see that balls that are being played on the ground is where she's strong. She's strongest, you know. You know, it's a Ronwen Williams situation. You remember Ronwen Williams before coming to Sundowns. You know that when it comes to the grounded balls, you're not gonna score against Ronwen Williams. It's always the aerial balls, you know. So she also has the same problem, and I also feel like it's stage fright, you know. Whatever, as they said, that you win the game first at the hotel. So you take that pressure from the hotel with your surfers and all of that, and then I feel like she also thought that she was gonna be a substitute goalkeeper, you know. But then now she's number 1 for South Africa. She's not that good, so all of that added to one person. It's not a good look for her. But then today she showed up.
Okay. No, I hear you. Let me go to Blogish. Blogish, 2 issues.
Yes.
Kellen Swartz, 1, but then on top of that, set pieces in general. Can you give me your thoughts around Kellen Swartz, and then also our set pieces, man? When are we gonna learn the lesson and do something different and you know, and change stuff?
Yeah, one of the things that I wanted to highlight is just a pre-context, before I could actually put the point, is the fact that the change of Kellen Swartz was actually instituted from the top because of their rumors and allegations that suggest that
Safa. It's a punishment, yeah.
Yes, Dlamini was actually an instigator of a strike and boycott, so they want to punish her. So, in that being said, there is an unwritten rule in football that you cannot change a sensitive position. And remember, coming to this tournament, we were playing friendlies with Dlamini. And for her not to be present and play an official game, it now shows that we have changed a sensitive position, and there's going to be a change of shape in how we defend and in how we actually structure ourselves. Because imagine how many friendlies we went to Turkey. We've been playing with Jamaica. We've been playing with all these countries. And Dlamini was a keeper. You understand? And she would come as a sub just to be tested as well. But like when you prepare for a tournament and then when now you have to put a lineup and then you change a sensitive position, it will definitely affect how you set up. So I think for me, one of the good attributes that she has is the fact that she's a new goalkeeper. You know, like there's a new goalkeeper that coaches want in terms of like you add numbers when the team plays, you are able to pass, you are able to pinpoint the pass. I think those are very good attributes from her, and she has something special that we call safe hands. When she holds the ball, she holds the ball. She doesn't pounce it, she doesn't do anything, you know. And then now the weakness, which is a very important thing as a goalkeeper, is diving saves. And if you cannot do that, it's a problem. And we've played 3 games, and our opponents that we are going to play against, they've seen us. And it's going to be a challenge, and we're not going to say anything. But she did well because of she had crucial saves. We can't take nothing away from her with that leg save that she did. And the issue of set pieces, I think, it will remain unabated. It will never be changed. Mainly because of like the goalkeeper doesn't have communication with the defenders that he's playing with, because it's the first time playing there. She's not used to the setup. So now we are just giving her we give her those 3 games just to be able to actually learn the team and gel in the team. And this it's not a right place to actually to test new players. We're supposed to get it tried and tested, but you know, we are where we are, and we cannot do anything. But it's going to be a very big problem for us going forward, because it will never change, because the goalkeeper is not able to come out. The goalkeeper doesn't have proper communication with the defenders. You know, it doesn't command. And sometimes when you are playing with a senior player like Nukumatlo, sometimes maybe she's afraid to even, you know, shout at her and something like that. It does happen even at a higher level of football, where maybe you can find a Bruce Vuma is not going to be able maybe to shout at a Mato, but I'm just making an example. So it's something like that. Those small Anyana details that I'm talking about, they matter when it comes to how things play out.
Okay, no, I hear you. RTT, same 2 questions. Kaylin Swartz, what are your thoughts around her? But then also set pieces.
Let me start with the corners, man. The set pieces. The set pieces, man. I think the issue there are no tactics there. There are no tactics there. We have no plans how to defend the tactics there. And I think what makes SWAT looks weak, it's because of the politics of SAFA, man. I think it's that. Because SAFA, they are suffering us. SAFA is suffering us big time, man. Like, you can't punish a player that plays a very crucial role in a team. So Swart, man, she doesn't have the confidence to carry that team, man. She's a youngster. She doesn't start many of our games. So I don't have any experience. So I don't think in the way I'm a corner so long as I say my if it's in all politics or stuff, because I'm a corner. It depends on goalkeeper. Structure kanjani la in that. So if it's no goalkeeper like leadership. Ngeke silunge Brian.
Mara mina ngibona ngathi siyabayeka nasemakhoneni, like sometimes siyapushana emakhoneni siyayenza ukuthi no bangayikhiphe. Why babayeka ukuthi bafike nakukhipha?
Yeah, it's because akuna-tactic lapho, akuna-plan ukuthi so defenda kanjani lapho, akunabantu aba-defend i-first pole, akuna-last pole, as-defend zonally, like no goalkeeper wethu asimbheki, like yebo, in a nutshell asimbheki u-goalkeeper wethu. Bayastadisha bambona ukuthi u-weak, so bamcrowda, so nathi siyabayekela ukuthi bamcrowde kakhulu. Then sifocus kwamanye ama-player, and the first pole siyayeka, wona njengale goal lethu, i-first pole lapha. Bayekele first pole lapha and bengamele benze njalo. No goalkeeper wethu area la akekho right, izandla zakhe angazi noma ziyashelela or kanjani.
Okay, no yakuzwa bra. I think for me, here's the thing, right? I like Andile. I like Andile coming in. I've always preferred her. Kaylin Swartz did play for Banyana before. She was the number 1 at some point for Banyana. But Andile brought a little bit something different to this game. My issue is, okay, fine. You've chosen Kaylin Swartz and you're saying, okay, we're gonna go with her. which is great. The keeper made a decision. The coach made a decision. You live and die by decisions. My issue is, now that you know that your keeper is short, or your keeper's not good at set pieces, or your keeper's getting crowded, or we've conceded this many goals, now you work on it, right? And maybe you may not be able to do the whole thing of like bringing in tall people, they can come and defend. But this is where you have to learn, right? Keepers usually, from what I've seen, keepers usually come out. If you come close to a keeper, they go straight to the ref and say, "Ref, now Umuntu is standing in front of me." The defenders, you muscle them, push them forward and say, "Guys, push them forward," and then have them away from your goalkeeper. Get physical, even if it means that the referee has to come in and solve the problem. But if you allow them to come in and just stand there, obviously no keeper, any keeper, is going to struggle when there's 4 skyscrapers standing right in front of you here on your line. You can't come out for balls. It's tough, right? And it's a tactic that everybody has figured out. So what then? Again, football, game of questions and answers. Now you've been asked the question. You're going with Kellen Suarez. We've realized that that's your weakness. We're going to go for corners. We're going to go for these things. What then becomes our answer to that? And that's where you have to look, you know. I think Kellen Suarez is an okay goalkeeper if there's no pressure. But in these pressure situations, it becomes a whole lot harder to play these games, you know. And especially when you haven't been the number one for the whole time, you know. And maybe the rumors of Safa doing whatever is true. Maybe the rumors of her having a heart thing is true. But again, you've got a third goalkeeper sitting right there, Umuletsane. Why isn't maybe Umuletsane coming in? But we'll see. We'll see what happens. A lot of people have said that she's the better ball player and distributor. There was a couple of balls. There was one I remember where she hit directly down the pitch and hit Umutalo like perfectly. Great, but I think sometimes you need your strikers to, you need your goalkeepers to be goalkeepers first. And what happens is in football, we are now prioritizing ball playing and distributing and all of that stuff. And now they kind of suffer when it comes to goalkeeping. So I think that's sort of what's happening. I'm going to rotate the panel. Thank you guys for the first panel for joining me. Let me bring in some more people so we can just discuss 2 more things that I really want to speak about here. So let me see who I can bring on here. Let me just get the panel right. Okay, let's do that. Let's do. I'm gonna read some of the comments. I see they've gone all the way out, guys. If you haven't followed, please follow. Also, please follow me on Facebook. Samuel, you have to request in order to be let in. So you have to be following me and request in order to be let in. With Swart, I'm a bit shaky. Is Janet going to be back for the knockout round? Apparently, she's almost fit. So she could have played this match. So we'll probably see her coming back in. These girls really must train on jumping. We need to improve the defense, starting with the goalkeeper. Really tell us what she's good at. We won, but really we're not ready. The goalkeeper is not even diving. The goalkeeper is not make sure. Safa is killing the national team. Let's be honest about Swart. The weakest point. Long ball distribution is unnecessary if our strikers are short compared to our opponents. Please, let's talk about extra time. We can maybe get into that, Tabiso. Vutlari, welcome to the show, my brother. How are you doing?
And how are you?
No, I'm great. What I want to ask...
In fact, I'm happy.
Yeah, no, it's lit right now. It's amazing. We don't know this feeling. I thought of ordering about a national team shirt for the first time in a very long time. Don't know if I'm going to do it, but we'll see.
I think we have to buy one. The girls have made us proud.
I want the black one, Banyana. I don't want any confusion as to who I'm buying this for. Anyway, so the question I want to ask you is, when we're coming to Desiree Ellis, what are your thoughts around what you've seen from Desiree Ellis in this tournament?
I think for me, it's look. She's a decent coach. I think she goes into a game with a plan. Sometimes the plan works, sometimes it doesn't work. But for the first two games, I'll say her plan worked because I think she tried. What she does is to allow the players to sit back, absorb all the pressure, and come out on a counter. Because maybe she knows that at the back she's not so solid. And then also from what she said after the match, the post-match interview, it just shows that she becomes too invested into the game that she forgets that she's a coach. Then I guess she did well bringing in Mduduzi just to help her in that regard, and all the other coaches and the technical staff that she works with. But otherwise, I can't fault her so much. What happened before the tournament, it happened. She didn't stick with her players, but now when it comes to the tournament, I can't fault her so much, man. She had a decent, she did have a decent tournament as well. Also, her tactics of the game, I think they are fair.
Okay.
They allow Banyana to how they competed. Even if, let's say, they could have lost today, I think they did compete and they did show us that they could win any game. Even though there's a few things that she needs to fix. Her substitution, I'm proud that today she made good subs. But the previous two games, her subs were whack, man. They were bad.
I want us to focus on two things. Just you can make a just comment on these two things. Does Desiree Ellis lack a plan B? That's the first one, and then the secondary thing is, how do you rate the finer points of the coaching, like set pieces, like situational coaching? How do you rate her and maybe her team? Let's say her team.
I think when it comes to, I think she's a reactive coach. She reacts to what the team is doing. Because if you can Unkulule, and also you said that football is a game of question and answers. She's always providing answers. She doesn't give questions to the team. So I think that's where the problem is. Because even if you looked at today's game, after we went 1-0 up, she reacted and the team reacted. They came back into the game. I think it was twice. When we went to a draw, the team pushed. So she's a reactive coach, not a coach that will go in and say, I'm going in for a team. So when it comes to set pieces, my man, I don't know if it's the defenders or it's the problem is our goalkeeper. Because yes, I think they need to find a way of working with her because it looks like for the entire World Cup she'll be our goalkeeper for the entire World Cup. So they need to teach her to know when to come out, when not to come out. Because even if we say to praise her, the save that she made towards the end of the game, it was her own fault. She hesitated coming out. If she came out and saved that ball before it went very far, she would have saved that ball before it caused problems. But for me, I think they just need to find a way of working with that. Also, I think she should teach more of how we defend with corners. As a coach, I don't think she's technically good.
Okay.
She knows how to answer. For me, technical, I don't think she's that good. She can answer questions.
Okay. No, I hear you.
I think she's a lucky coach to have players that have been there with her for long, the players that are experienced in this tournament, players that have lost, players that have been hurt before, and they know they can carry the team on their own. Because if you look at it, she becomes part of the game. She forgets that she's a coach. But if you look at Katlane, she literally coached the team from inside. Even when we were 3-2 up, there was a point where Osio Posimwe wanted to put pressure. They wanted to, defend from up front. She told them relax. She was coaching the team from inside. I think she has good players. Other than that, she's not a very technical coach.
Let me bring in Lodrick. Lodrick, welcome to the show, my brother. How are you doing?
I'm good, and you, my brother. How are you doing?
Listen, I'm ecstatic today. You don't know how happy I am today, guys. Now, man, today was just amazing. So in this part of the show, I want to speak about Desiree Ellis and a coaching team. Firstly, what are your thoughts around Desiree Ellis? Secondly, do we have a plan B as Banyana? And then thirdly, how do you rate her and her team when we talk about the finer points? How to defend, how to park a bus, set pieces, things like that.
Desiree, we must remember that Desiree Ellis has been with these ladies for a quite a long time. And as much as she did win African Cup of Nations with the team,
Yeah.
she had a lot of confidence. But what I saw in her, she's got a problem of if she really believes in you, there is no way you can be on her starting lineup. She's got that a very problem. But overall, she's a very good coach. I can see even the friendship that she created with the players. They're too comfortable with her. It's just that when it comes to the games like this, we need to think, guys. We need to really stop thinking about the rankings. Like I saw they gave Italy too much respect. I don't know whether it's because of the problems that we had before they leave to the World Cup, or it's because of they thinking maybe Italy is 29 above us on the rankings. They must just forget about the rankings and concentrate on playing football. And
So then, what are your
I
comments
think
around
y-
us having a plan B? Do we have a
yes,
plan B as Banyana?
we do have a plan B. It's just that Desiree Ellis need to give the players the authority. Like the goalkeeper needs to communicate with the goalkeeper that in the goal post, this is your area. Control the players. Put the players where you want to be. If you're not sure, the captain needs to be in charge as well to help you. Because if you can see the first goal, now the second goal, I mean to say, it's a overcrowded. You can't even see. You're bound to make a mistake in overcrowded goalpost because the goalkeeper can't see what is happening. So if those guys they were positioned in a right way, we shouldn't have allowed that goal. That was a mistake goal.
So should we
So
blame Desiree Ellis and her team because this is not the first time?
yes, definitely. There is the analysis in the team that is analyzing those kind of mistakes. Why we keep on making the silly mistakes every now and then? So that means it's obviously the issue are not addressed properly. The message is not clear to the players. And another thing that I need to talk about is that our midfield were very, 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 very weak. So as much as you see that our midfield is very weak, then it's putting too much pressure into the goalkeeper and the defense. So
I
what is the
wanna
best way to defend? The best way to defend is to attack.
yeah.
We need a players like if you can check on my comment, I was talking more about. You see, Khatane she was trying all her best.
Let's stick to that. I'm gonna come
with
to
the
the
guy.
standout
So
players. I'm gonna come to the standout players just now. I just want us to stick on this point now with Desiree. I'll come back because the secondary question is going to be around the standout players and the roles that they play. So I'll be back just now. Let me bring on Richie. Richie, welcome to the show. How are you doing, my brother?
Hi, sir. I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good. No, I see a ball and I see you playing soccer in your profile picture. So I guess you're the right person to bring on here.
Yeah, man. No. I don't play.
Aria.
I don't play anymore. I used to. I don't play anymore. I don't play. But yeah, man.
This is the question
It's
I
a
want to
very
ask you. The question I want to
yeah.
ask you is, now we're talking about Desiree Ellis and her team. I want you to first give me your thoughts around Desiree Ellis, her team. Then I want you to answer these two. Do we have a plan B or different tactic at Banyana when things are going wrong? And then number two, how do you rate them on situational plays, like when we are defending a corner, when we have a lead, how do we consolidate a lead? When we're chasing, how do we chase? Things like that outside of just the tactics. Can you give me your thoughts around those three things?
Okay. Let me start with Coach Desiree. I think we have to give Desiree credit where it's due. You know, when you achieve, you need to applaud. You understand? We in the last 16, that means the coach has done a good job.
Yeah.
You understand? We have won the WAFCON. The coach did a great job. You understand? So we need to applaud Desiree. But yeah, Tina, our fans, you understand? We criticize when we have to. You understand that we're not gonna lose jobs. We don't have jobs. But coming to your question about Desiree, I think Desiree, her weakness is her game management. You understand? You can't lead 2-0 and then you want to draw a game against a team like Argentina. Because if I look at this group, we had a chance of winning this group. You understand? We had a chance of ending first without taking out calculators. You understand?
Yeah.
We had a chance to stamp our authority without us having to depend on another result. You understand? Because if you check our game against Sweden, we scored first.
Yeah.
This tells me we don't have a problem with scoring the goals, but we have a problem of when we score, how do we manage the game? You understand? Because if you watch these European countries, they are big players and they are tall. Thina sibetha ngabantwana abancane, you understand? We have short players. Now as a coach, how do you capitalize on that? These guys from Europe, they don't know. Tina sisuke kasi, man. You know, we know one-touch football. You understand? We hit them with something that they don't know. We are good at having possession. You understand? We are good when we're on the ball, but when we're off the ball, it's a problem. You understand? So it all comes down to how the coach manages the game. I think that's something she needs to work on. Overall, she's a very good coach because she has brought results. She has brought a trophy for us. She has taken us to the last 16.
Yes.
To your second question, Plan B, I don't feel we have a plan B. Let me tell you why. Urifilo Jane wasn't in this game today. You could see that Urifilo is not in this game. I'll tell you. Look at Ulinda. Ulinda is a very good player, but Ulinda was nowhere to be found today. You understand? That because she didn't have someone that's behind her that's going to make her play. You understand? She didn't have the support. Because if you check that game, there were times I was watching the game on my phone and my office desk. I'm sitting in my office in the office and I'm like, they're stressed, man, because we're giving the ball easily away. Number one, we don't fight. The only player that I felt that was fighting for us today was the defender Umbane and Uchamain. Uchamain, you'd see Uchamain on the left side helping us defend. In the same moment, you'll see Uchamain running down the line. You understand?
let's hold the players one because I want to ask that question about standout players.
Okay.
I'm gonna come back with the
Okay.
standout players question. So
Okay. What was your third question
the
now?
third question was the finer points, like as you say, game management, but things like, for example, we know our corners have been bad for the past 3 games, but it doesn't seem like anything has changed. We know we struggle with holding leads. How do you rate her team?
Yes.
Desiree and her team on that side of the game, like outside of tactics, but more situationally. How do you rate them?
I think there's still a lot of work to be done. There's still a lot of work to be done. I feel that we are hitting, and I know I'm gonna get a lot of flack or slack on this, but I think we are too hard on Kaylin. You understand? Kaylin is she's not our best goalkeeper at this moment, but for her to look at today's game, we wouldn't be in this last 16 if it wasn't for the saves she made. Being a goalkeeper is a very difficult position, guys. I just think she needs to work on her confidence. You understand?
But that's why I'm asking.
Lena is not.
That's why I'm asking in terms of Desiree and the technical team. Desiree and the technical team.
Yeah.
In these situations where you know Kaylin has had a rough time with X, Y, and Z or whatever.
Yeah.
How do you rate them and their handling of those type of things?
I think out of 10, I will give Desiree a 4 and her team. They need, as I said when I started, her game management and how she manages her team. As I think is it Lodwick that said she gets too invested into a game and then she thinks she's a player where she's a coach. You understand? Then you if you check, there were a lot of people standing in that technical area. You understand? Which she's not in charge. Yeah, Yabona, like she's. If you would check a Mourinho when it comes to his technical area, it's only him or nothing. I think she needs to take charge of a team, but I'll give her a 4. Yeah.
Okay. No, let me bring in PV. PV, welcome to the show, my brother. How are you doing? Hey, let me check if there's any network problems there. PV, you can unmute and then you can jump in.
Okay.
There we go.
I'm with you now.
How are you doing, my brother? It's grand,
No, I'm trying.
So this is the question. Desiree
everything is
Ellis and a technical team. Give me your thoughts around them, but also answer these 2 questions. Do we have a plan B as Banyana? And then number 2, how do they do with the smaller points where like how to defend the lead, how to do that stuff outside of tactics? How do you feel about them?
No, firstly, brother, I will say congratulate to them, and they make us proud of our African team, or else a South African team. I problem njengoba bafethu sebeyibekile ngiyibonayo nengiyibhekile eteam nethu njengoba i-game management awukwazi brother ukuthi ungafika ushawe mistake egamini yokuqala at the second game phinde kube ne-mistake efanayo, third game kube ne-mistake efanayo. If I'm not mistaken, each and every team got a goalkeeper coach, got a striker coach, got i-management yabo inama kuma-department anabantu abaqashele leyo ndawo lo kanti yabo.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. Akufanele sibe harsh ku-goalkeeper because he's our goalkeeper, and she made some lot of saves.
Very good
and
saves.
Better saves, but but the problem, the main mistake, ayascosta. Sayikhumbula igoli yokuqala lekwenza u2-1 from Sweden.
Yeah.
Ubuye uzoza kwi-cross lenze u2-2 kwi-Argentina. Yes. Even leya goal leya because leya goal yokwenza u-2-1 they shot straight antiyebo of which means okay nakule goal leya namhlanje ekhona lekhalisa abafowethu leyana so i-problem if ubhekisisa ma-aerial balls ma-aerial balls akekho good at all akaphumi nje uphuma kuline kwi-goal line akasuki at all mawubhekisisa ama-team onke lawa alaphayana a-capitalize from i-game ye-Sweden babona ukuthi weakness point yethu kuma-crosses mawubhekisisa i-Argentina always be emakhoneni ifuna ucross nale team yanamhlanje mawubhekisisa kahle always iqhama ngama-side ifuna ucross the reason why siyaleka thina kuma-set pieces okanye kuma-aerial balls that's a mistake engiyinothise kakhulu kulokuzana then bese sibuya sisa kwi-midfield yethu kwi-midfield yethu labantwana abayi-2 badlala grand but i-problem since siluze uba uJane lo umntana lo u-15 ne Jane, yes. So since siluze lo mntana loyana umntana ofike wadlala wayidestroya ilo otholela amakhadi ayi-2 so usho silimele kwaloya mntana yabo lo ungene wa replace uJane yes ubiyana ungenile wadlala i-rough game unfortunately wathola la makhadi amphazamisile yes otherwise lo ake asinaye umntwana manje o-suitable for leya ndawo because ngibolo abamfake namhlanje lo bejinjile ngeke ngambona ama-processing ngithi wayeqhamuka esayidini noma wayedlala u-2 yini noma wayedlala abantu but akekho suitable kuleya ndawo leya
so then
that's a problem esinayo imijwade mfowethu ngiyelo ngicathu
what type of how do we hold abo Desiree accountable for that ngoba surely mawukhetha team yabantu abayi-25 or however many people mele wenze sure ukuthi yazi plan A, plan B. If lawyer Puma sends us so, if lawyer Puma sends us so, how would you look at them in the decision making lab?
Yes, they are lacking, and among our rater, it's poor because more pexis are first line up here, it's balance. But when it comes to substitutions, ngathi siya frustrate siyafa mawubheka kunabadlali abekade ebasebenzisa eqaleni njengabo Holweni njengabo bani but awusababoni manje lapha ngani umuzama ukuvala kanjani okanye mhlawumbe kusadlala le politic ekhona ye-interference yesafa kanye ngani uzothi i-ANC management noma ngizosho njani ngoba Jordaan phela abantu abaqhama kwi-ANC so izinto ze-ANC zizongena even kwi-sports aid kwi-surface and iyayidestroya i-African football leyanto leyo because nayo Desiree she's a good coach but if naye setshele ukuthi yenza so akanawo amandla because naye ulambile mos and to honestly uba bekwenzeka njengoba kwenziwa nakwamanye amazwe ukuthi coach thatha abantu bakho uyobasebenzisa ezinjoba ebuya ne-cup layer just now kune-interference eningi kakhulu
okay
interference eningi kakhulu so thina so rater is poor but asiyazi pressure adibene nayo u-Desiree from i-management ngoba njabona mabhekisisa lapha njengoba esho umfowethu loyo akamile yedwa as ucoach okwazi so manje ngigcine sele egoqa izandla baphithizela la eceleni akwazi noma sengocoach bona anti yabo engicela mhlawumbe i-problem ilapha ekutheni akanikeziwe amandla ukuthi wena ophethe leli uzana yonke le so interference yalimaza esokheni yala eSouth Africa not only kwiBanyana even nasemathimini lawo into esibonayo yenzakala iyalimaza ibhola yaseSouth Africa.
Okay, no, thank you, bro. I'm gonna come back. I think for me, my chat.
Nje mangakhuma iqiniso lastly. I-Netherlands ayona team strong ngiyibonile even le game winning ngo-7-0.
Yes. Okay. No, says I think for me, this is what I think of Desiree Ellis. I think Desiree Ellis has an amazing plan A. And I think sometimes the thing that kills her is the confidence to see out plan A. So you watch teams like, for example, I'll give you an example, Japan. If Japan scores 2 against you, they're going to score 5. Because that's their plan. They're going to go out there. And I think what happens with Desiree sometimes in my eyes is that she loses confidence. So we'll come in, we'll do very well, and then we'll want to consolidate this thing sometimes too early. And a lot of the things that we're trying to do are things we're not good at. I give the example always of Arsene Wenger. Arsene Wenger, amazing team going forward, but we can't defend. So it doesn't make sense for us to go into a tough match and defend, because when we're defending, we're going to concede. So rather do the thing that you're really good at. That's what shocked me about this game versus Italy, where we understand that Banyana, going forward, one of the front five, I always say there's a front five and a back six. The front five is incredible. Jermaine, Khatlana, Mahaya, Motalo, Jane when she's inside. Those people are incredible, and they go forward, and when they're going forward, man, you could see towards the end of that match, Italy was chasing shadows, right? So for me, do that and finish them off. Go 2, 3, 4, 5 goals if you can, but make sure that by the time it's time for us to defend, we've demoralized the other people. That's the plan. When I'm talking about this stuff, I think she's very good, and we saw it at WAFCON. At WAFCON, Banyana were the aggressors. They were the people who went, you know what, guys, Tina, we will go and score these goals and push this match and do everything, right? When they start defending, that's where we get caught out, because then you start realizing, well, we're not good at defending. When you sit back, you start realizing that Ulinda is not a central mid player. You know, Modley is not a central mid player. So you're going to start seeing those gaps, because we're trying to do something that we're not good at doing. So for me, I want to see Banyana, the same Banyana that played the first 2 games. The first 60 minutes of the first 2 games was incredible. I want to see that Banyana for 70, 80 minutes. And push as far as you can doing that. Then go into defense. But if you're going to go 1 goal up and defend 35 minutes, you're going to go 2 goals up and defend 35 minutes. If you're going to defend from the beginning of the match with Italy, concede a penalty, get bailed out by King, get bailed out by a 1 goal. We want to see Banyana come out and play Banyana football, which has made them very successful. So I think that's where Desiree suffers a little bit. Like, just have the confidence to play that game all the way through. In terms of the finer points of the coaching, I think that's one of the things that we struggle with in South Africa. I said during the live as well that where European teams kill us, it's not on talent, it's not on all that stuff, but it's because they're prepared for situations. So when I go 1-0 down and I have to find 2 goals, I understand that Rodriguez and Nunez must come onto the pitch, and Rodriguez and Nunez know exactly what to do. So when the question is asked of us, we come in and we go, we're going to play these high balls into the box, and we're going to try win corners, because these guys, it's planned. They sat down and they tacticked it out. When we go 1-0 up and we want to park the bus, you teach that. You say, this is how you play defensive, 2 backs of 4. These guys position like this. Our goal is to do this. Our goal is to do that. That's where the European teams kill us, situationally. They understand exactly what they're meant to do. A lot of the time in the last 2 matches, what we did was we sat back and we went, we just scored a goal. These people are putting pressure on us. Let's throw in 10 people. Let's throw in 10 people or 7 people or 6 people. And then say, we are going to jump in, and those are going to be my 6 people that I'm going to play. And because I've got more people, nobody's going to score. And that's not how it works. You have to show them, you have to teach them how to position themselves, right? There were times in that match where I was screaming at the screen, because I was saying, there's no way there's 7 of you around 2 players and the 2 players are playing the ball freely. But again, that comes from that type of situational coaching. And it's not just Desiree who suffers from this, right? So I think she's an incredible coach with the plan A. She needs to just have more confidence, and then also have a bit more strength, man, when you're playing some of these other things. To say to Kaylin, we've seen 7 corners come in and all of them have been dangerous over the past 2 games. What we're going to do now is let's try figure out how to make it less dangerous for us right here. So defense, when we get a corner, pushan labantu. That's come from a coach telling them, pushan labantu, try get them to the penalty spot. so that you can give Kalen space to breathe, right? When we do this, let's go zonally and put people here and put people there and do this and do that. And a lot of our South African game suffers because we don't do those type of things. Yay, Keta, thank you so much for the gifts. 109 gifts. Thank you so much. Andile, thank you for subscribing, my guy. Please, guys, subscribe. So those are the type of things that where I sit back and I go, that's what we lack in South African football. It's more about natural ability than it is about those small things. To end off today, Butare, I don't want to end off with these questions and all of that stuff. I want us to speak about, maybe if you can pinpoint on your side, 2 standout players that have been very important for our team and have performed very well. Let's give them their flowers to close off the show.
So are you referring to today's game or for the past 3 games?
It can be either or.
But okay.
You can do both. Okay, let's do both. From this previous game and then from the tournament so far.
From the tournament so far, I think Uthembi Kgatlana has shown a lot of leadership and fighting very hard for the team. For me, so far, she's a player of the tournament. She's a player of the tournament in the side of Banyana. But I'll focus more on today's game. For me, today's game, I think most of the players put in a good shift, but the leadership of the team, guys, you see, if you get a player that is able to coach the team from inside and is just a striker, able to control, saying, you stay there, you move this way, you move that way, I think we have a very, very good leader in Uthembi Kgatlana. For me, she stood out. And our breadwinner, I think, my man, if we were to have our breadwinner, my man, I think our front players are the best players you can have. Is the best striking force, and I love how who she is when she receives the ball, when she gets the throw pass. She doesn't even hurry. She takes it up. She knows where the defender is. She knows where the keeper is. She knows what to do. She takes her time and just plays the ball when she has to pass. She knows where. For example, the last goal, through pass came in. She knew where Uthembi was.
Yeah.
She relaxed and put in the ball properly. So for me, players that stood up, Uthembi Kgatlana, Umbane. Oh, but it's a magnificent defender, my man. No nonsense. She doesn't just tackle anywhere. She doesn't cause fouls, but she knows how to protect the ball. And I think the combination of Umbane and no Matro is the best. I think we should keep it that way. I'll put a bit of some criticism on Dlamini in the first half. I think when Dlamini in the first half, I think she was playing the occasion. She was a bit nervous. She was making silly mistakes. Towards the end, I think she improved. But it shows that I think they used her side as a weakness. I think they knew that she's the less experienced player because towards the end, her heart was failing her because she ran, she ran like crazy. But for me, I think for me, Uthembi Kgatlana is the best leader. I think she did well. And going forward, honestly, we need to say to our goalkeeper, she needs to improve. I can hear that we're giving her, but let's be honest. Also, the last save she made.
Man, we must end on a nice note, guys.
So, but yeah, I think the return of Orifile Jane will give Linda Motlalo a way forward how to play and become that skillful dribbling player to go forward. But otherwise, I think the entire team put in a good shape. There is a few mistakes that we can blame, but from defense to striker, my man, I know. This is a team that can win the tournament. I know we are putting too much pressure on them, and I feel like it's not fair. I think we as South African fans sometimes we become very unrealistic. Where since they are going to the last 16, if they lose in the last 16, like we knew they are useless, but they are fighters, and I think we should support them. I think we should, if they come back on the last 16, they did well. They did more than well. But they are capable of going all the way up to the final. If we can keep our short pieces, my man, our corners. This is the one thing I wanted to say before I leave, my man. And I'll say my final word. You see, as a goalkeeper, if you are there in the 18-yard area, if you go out and fall, it's a foul. There's no two way about it. That's how Damini did in the AFCON. Always to jump to the ball. If they kick you, you fall. It's a foul. That's your own space. You can't just stand and sit. I mean, you're a goalkeeper. Your head goes higher than everyone in the field. I feel like if we can fix that, the team won't have any way to beat us. I think the teams are beating us on short cases. Without that, there's no team that they can beat us, man. We are, and also the final thing is, I wish this could be a lesson to Safa to say, stick with the South African coach, give him enough time, they will deliver. Because this Ulo, our coach, has been with the team from the COSAFA all the way up to where they are now. They've been together for a very long time. The team knows what the coach wants. The coach knows the team, who to play, how to play them. And so far, this will be a great lesson. And we're not going to entertain the Africans wanting to celebrate the girls. They are not allowed to celebrate. So, but otherwise,
Yeah.
in the Catalan as a captain, well done coaching the team. And the last thing is, I think people are not fair when it comes to our coach because they're saying, yeah, we've seen
Wow, and now
everyone.
you're going through everything.
That's one. That's one. No,
Time.
I'm answering someone who said, yeah, everyone was coaching the team towards the end. But man, you see it everywhere in the Champions League. Players were coaching players in the final of the Champions League because it means a lot to everyone. And them, everyone coaching, I think it does better. It shows the team spirit. Otherwise,
Okay.
I'm happy. I'm a
Yeah.
happy. That's the
Um,
parameter.
okay. No, that's fine. So I'm gonna have to cut you off though. Hey, Mara Mutari. Ludwig, I want to give flowers, man. Can you give flowers to the standout players? So if you can give me the players that have been standout for you in the tournament, but also in the match yesterday, this morning. Sorry.
My man, Khatladi is the star. I don't want to lie to you, my man. I saw something very special in that lady on our own first scored goal. I'm not talking about the own goal. I'm talking about the goal that was scored by Mahai. That pass, I saw Temba Zwane inside the match. I don't want to lie to you.
Yeah.
That lady has an eye of where she's gonna pass the ball and how she's gonna articulate the ball. If you have such a kind of a player, then we're having a star inside the player. So I still feel like, guys, we really need. What I saw the weakness in those European teams is that the more you attack them, is the more they become very weak. As I mentioned earlier on, the best way to defend is to attack. I still feel like we needed a player like Chweni Murifi from Sundowns. That lady, she's got the capability to trouble the defense. If you get a player like that, then you're removing the pressure out of the midfield and the defense because the too much concentration is gonna be in front, not to concede. We frustrate them at the front so that they mustn't come back to us in the midfield or at the back. We saw really that our midfield is very weak. Like the player like Ramalepe today, I didn't see her best. I know she's the best player to play, but today she didn't come to the party to the way I know her. Our CDM was very weak in such a way that they didn't come to the party. It forced Khatlani to play the CDM even when she's not that kind of a player, but she took a great initiative. You can even see at the end of the game when during post-match interview, she was so emotional in such a way that she chose the team over the family. Yes, I felt like I was so emotional as well when she was talking about she lost 3 family members. She was supposed to be with the family, but she chose to be with the girls. That shows that the lady really loves the team and she knows what to do with the team.
Okay.
So we need the players like that can encourage our girls that let's not let our circumstances fail us. Let's push and take the team forward. And what I
Okay.
like is that they prove Jordaan and the SAFA executive committee very wrong what they thought about them. Even you can see Desiree Ellis during the post-match interview. She was so emotional in such a fact that she was conveying a message that even though at home we didn't have that support and we having the disagreement, but the girls took us forward. They had that fighting spirit. They left everything behind, but they wanted to be here. It shows. So I like the
Okay.
fighting spirit.
Okay, I hear you. No, thank you so much, Lodrick. Guys, please follow. I'm like 8 people away from 100. So please follow if you haven't followed. Also, support the account as well. Monday to Friday, 12:30 in the afternoon, I'm here. And then also Monday to Wednesday, 8 p.m. If you miss anything, it'll be on Facebook and you can watch all the previous ones. Support me there too. I'm this close to being monetized. So that'll really help me keep all of this up. I fund all of this right now, so please help me out there. Richie, give me some standout players, man. Who stood out for you in the tournament so far, but also in the match versus Italy?
For me, in the tournament so far, I will go with Ujamain. No. What's this defender? Mbane. Yeah, I think the shift that Ujamain puts in, hey guys, that girl runs in the. You can't run Kangakaya for 90 minutes. You understand?
Yeah.
She runs and she gives her all. You understand? Now, I'm one of those people. I like players that play for the team and not for themselves. You understand? And Ujamain has lifted her hand and said, "I'm the go-to person." You understand? She plays her heart out, and yeah, and Umbane is rock solid, man. Hey, it's just that when you're a defender, you don't defend alone. You understand? You even if the mistake doesn't come from me, but it's a defensive error. You understand? So she's composed on the ball. She doesn't do reckless tackles. She's just cool and calm. Gets the ball, she plays. She doesn't kick the ball like, she's cool, man. And when it comes to today's game, first of all, I'm gonna say Kalen Swartz saved us. No, Kalen Swartz saved. She as much as we are criticizing her, we in the last 16 because of the saves she made today. Because if there's one where she hit, where she put her foot there.
Yeah.
I think it was in the dying minutes of the game. I mean, if that ball would have been crying now. Yeah, bon. Today's game, there's a couple of saves that Kalen Swartz did for us, and she came through for us. Then I'm gonna go again. I'm gonna go with Jermaine again. Hey, she ran today, guys. Jermaine, even though I felt like sometimes she's losing the ball unnecessary. You understand? But she gave us she gave us the shift. And lastly, I'll agree with my other guys and go for Utembi. I think Utembi showed a lot of character. She showed a lot of leadership. She showed that, look, I play overseas for a reason. You understand? I'm not a Mickey Mouse player. I'm not a Hollywood bets player. if I
No shade, don't shade Hollywood. Don't shade them.
Yeah, she
but
no, but we need to be honest. She showed, like, there were times where she ran with the ball and you could see, hey, this girl is showing us that, look, guys, I'm here for a reason. I'm the captain for the day for a reason. And for that, I'm proud of what these girls have done for us. We've never reached in a stage like this. We've never been to a knockout stage in any football. Bafana, I don't even want to talk, but we're focusing on Banyana now. We've never had this joy when it comes to football. You understand? I stay in Cape Town, and you must understand that the two major sporting codes in Cape Town, it's rugby and cricket. You see, so I even had not a fight to say a fight, but I had an argument at work with one of my colleagues. I was telling them that we have two teams that are currently in the World Cup, and you guys want to tell us that we must start having Bok Friday. Amabhoko playing in September. We have two teams now. The hype that you guys are giving us for Amabhoko. Why are you guys not the same hype for the netball girls? For Banyana? So I'm very proud. What these girls did today, it opened doors for me to open my mouth in my company. You understand? But big up to the girls.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Even to the netball girls, thank you, man. Thank you.
Okay, no. Thank you, Richie, for bringing that. I actually said that, during the day when we were watching the thing all together. I was like, guys, please make noise and please try get your companies and people to know that something's happening over there in Australia and New Zealand. Something's happening there in Cape Town.
Yeah.
Because you don't see the hype around it, and what they're doing is incredible, especially also being African champions already. They are African champions and no one talks about it.
We're not going there like we qualified. We are African champions. We go there like champions. Should be celebrated. Understand? Now you want to come tell me that I must wear my box T-shirt for a tournament that's in September?
No, you must buy the Chiefs one. That green one, it's enough for everyone. No, I'm kidding. Let me bring in PV. PV, tell me, for you, who stood out for you in this tournament so far, and also in the match versus Italy?
No, mfethu kule tournament nje yonke le, to be honestly, abosisi bafayithile, but ngathi mhlawumbe i-top 4 engathi ngihamba nawo nje just now. Yabona lo mntana lo osebheki lo bambana nibani?
Yeah, umbani.
Then yes. Then noThembi nalo sisoqoku 8 lo uMahayila. Then bese kuba umntana lo, in fact labo sisaba yithi lo ka10 no ka12, to be honestly. Angifuna uqamanga bayilwele indawo yabo lana, and they are very best. Into engishoda ngayo nje i1, yabona like makubuye uJane, at least uJane uyakhona umark eswini. The only thing is shoda ngayo thina ithwani lo muntu oyifana no John Umwethu mawuthi umsaba sabakhumbula abantu abafana no
destroyer.
Destroy kanye yabo. Yes, destroy. Because I problem I destroy funa ube destroy ifana naye uJane. The reason why akanayo le rough le ngoba phela sekhona le nto i-VR problem manje. So ufika usebenzisa le rough le yabona lo mntana igcina imtholisa ikhadi lo
Buyane, yeah. Buyane.
She's a good player now, Biyane leyana. She's a good player. Nemuntu odingekayo kahle kahle lapha. Manje problem sesilinyazwa ile VR le. To be honest, uma ngekho uJane at least maybe ngafaka uBiyane. Umuntu ozokwazi ukuba i-destroy. Begcine bemsabe ukuza ngale ndlela ebeza ngayo because yabona thina esizwe sivulekile. The reason why ama players othi ayadlala yes, but the problem akasinayo umuntu oyi-main marker. That's a problem. And yabona ke masingenza kanjalo nalento athi show mfethu lo uLodwig ne. The best way of defending is to attack. Bafana igame engikhumula abadlala kuyona ibhola emnandi ile Argentina. They were knocking from the back bekhupha nebhola bonke siyadlala ibhola but le kade esho ubani uFutari elokuzaneni the way bebeshaya ngakhona ibhola bengazi ukuthi asidlali tu. Mawubhekisisa ubhekilana bushaya ibhola lephambili kongukuthi kufanele kugijime uThembi arane nebhola mebetholile nawo la bafuna uliphosa istriker ofishine besingenoki mathi wabheka iball position besingenayo at all. Fortunately swini so enye indlela safanele beyilungise nayo uDesiree Ellis indlela yokunokha ibhola. Ngeke silokhu sishama bhanoyi sidlala ibhola eladlala la ama team lawana sithi sowina because lama team ayanokha ezekuthina thina silishaye ayanokha ezekuthina thina silishaye and sinabadlali abafishane so at least banzi lishaye mhlawumbe ngokuthi baphasele phansi bezokwazi ukulozana lana ingangcwe but otherwise ama players la i-defender yethu amfuqama ngabona bafightile bebonke
Okay, no. Ngiyabonga Puti TV.
Sure.
I think to close off for me, if I'm gonna give flowers, for the tournament, I think we saw how important Refilwe Jane is. That midfield is calm, is poised. He can control it. He can break up things. Like she gives you confidence. It almost feels as though Ujane gives the team such confidence there in the middle. So for the tournament, it's her because you see the difference when she's not there. And just the way, man, they control the game. She controls the game is incredible. So I love Ujane for the tournament. I would say she's one of my standout players. Ukhatlane also shows Guti the distance. What I love about Banyana is that they're showing us sort of the distance between Africa and Europe in terms of Europe and South America, in terms of women's football, is not that far anymore. And once you get players playing that side, Utembi playing for, I think she plays for Racing Louisville in America. She has played in Spain, I think. She's been in a couple of places. She played at AC Milan, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's her. You can tell the quality and you can see the quality. When she gets the ball and she's running at these players, you can see that it's quality. So that's very good. At the back, Umbane has been a very good leader there, and I'd love to see her paired more with more experienced players. But for me, my standout, and I think honorable mentions to both Jermaine, and my standout is the breadwinner, Umahai. And the reason why is that in the South African game, in general, we don't have players with her movement, just her movement. Like she quietly moves around. She reminds me of a Thomas Müller type thing where her movement is incredible, but also composure, guys. Composure. How many players in South African football can score that first goal she scored? Relax, put it into the corner. She didn't even look up. She knew where she was going. How many players can play that? How many players in South African football as a whole can receive the through pass and play the ball to where Tembi was in between there? How many have the composure to be able to do that? And I want you guys to remember something. She scored our first goal in this tournament, but also that the Women's African Cup of Nations run where she scored, I think, in the semis and in the finals. She is incredible. And I don't think she gets in the team. I don't think she gets the type of credit that she deserves. Jermaine works hard. Tembi Kgatlana is a star going forward. Tembi, sometimes the decision making lets her down, but she's a star going forward. Refilwe is a rock. Ulinda, if she was allowed, if she had the platform to go forward a little bit, you'd see how amazing she is as a 10. But Umakhaya, guys, quietly goes about her business. So composed. So composed. So I'm going to end it there. I think Banyana, well done for getting into the last 16, for again proving that you are South Africa's team. Not only are you African champions, but now a group of death looked you in the eye and you guys said, nah, we are the killers in the group of death. You have to look out for us in the group of death. We outplayed Sweden. We outplayed Argentina. We didn't outplay Italy, but we got the result. So I am so happy with this team. And remember, we don't criticize because we hate the team or whatever. We criticize because we want to see the team do well. This is a different type of feeling, guys. Usually, we criticize about, hey, we don't see them playing. We don't see what they're doing. They're always losing, blah, blah, blah. Now, it's so nice to criticize because we understand that this team is a step away from being truly world class, a step away, a few mistakes, a few fixes away from being an amazing team. And that is very incredible. And for once, this Kipama calculator, we didn't have to use the calculators all the way after. We didn't have to look at rule books on whether it's goal difference and whatever. We got through the game. We've qualified. So thank you to that. If you have not followed, please follow and support the account. I've got a couple of videos up on here. Also, all of the live shows are recorded and put onto Facebook. So on my Facebook page, you will find every single live that we've had. You can watch our previous things. As you can see, the panels are always incredible. They make the show. Please also support me that side. There's a Overthinking Football on Facebook. Please, guys. I just need you guys to follow the page so that I can be monetized and actually start making some money from adverts and things like that. But thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for the gifts, guys. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you, Ronnie, Plomim, Du. Thank you to Keta. And I want to thank Wandile Shandu. Again, like I said, monetization is a very big thing. So having somebody actually subscribe, Andile, thank you so much. You have access to a completely different set of emojis. You get preference when you do your comments and things like that. So please use that to the best of the ability as my first subscriber so far. Thank you so much for the support. Guys, like I said, Monday to Friday, 12:30 in the afternoon, I'm here. Monday to Wednesday, 8 p.m., I'm here. So I will see you guys tomorrow at 12:30. Bye, guys. Oh yeah, tell your bosses, Banyana, this is Banyana month. If you're going to wear a Springbok jersey, we're wearing it for Banyana. We're not wearing it for anybody else.